Sandy says read. Welcome to the channel. This is low energy today. Sorry, there's a reason. I am going to do a book haul today. I know in the last video we did the After Imaginarium tag, and I promised that I would show you guys all the books that I picked up from the vendors in the vendor hall. I shouldn't call them vendors, the books I picked up from the authors in the vendor hall. So we're going to do that today, and we're just going to power through this. I'm working hard to stay vertical today so that I don't lay down and let all the goop accumulate in my chest. So bear with me. We're going to power through this together. The first book I want to show you guys is one that I actually purchased for my next door neighbor. She's helping me with some stuff along the outside of my fence. So I picked up a book for her that has, let's see, Cassandra Morgan wrote this one. Let me get the glare off of it. There we go. Damsel in Social Distance. It has a cat character in it, which my neighbor is going to really enjoy. So that's why I asked Cassandra for a recommendation. She recommended this one, and so I have this one for my neighbor. And she will not see this because she has no interest in my side projects that I do. So this is for her. Then I also picked up from J. Patrick Lamar. Sorry guys, like I said, low energy. From J. Patrick Lamar, I picked up the book All That Waits in the Night. And this is a collection of horror short stories. So I'm looking forward to that. But I also won at his table a little chapbook that he had prepared for, there's so much glare, sorry guys, that he had prepared for his Patreon folks on his Patreon channel. I've already read this one and I liked it, so I think that I might dive into the short story collection next so that I can do a review of that for you guys, because this was a clever idea. I liked this chapbook to sort of introduce his patrons and others like myself to his poetry and some short fiction work. That was a nice idea to have that there at his table. I liked that. And in fact, he has already sent a quick email update to folks who signed up for his e-newsletter. And I liked the way he handled that as well. If I could copy some of those marketing ideas and get a newsletter out the door, that would be great. The next book that I picked up is One Night at the Roxy by John Pica. When I was at his table, he mentioned that there were 2 books that had come out since the last Imaginarium, and like a moron, I wasn't paying attention to what he was saying. The first book in this series was the other book, but I had been so intrigued by this cover when I saw it pop up on the 7th Star Press webpage that I knew I wanted to pick up this book. So I was sort of focused on making that happen. So I purchased this book. I will probably have to pick up the other book, in the first book in the series, because I've already started reading this one and I really like the style. So there will definitely be a review coming of this one soon, John Pica's One Night at the Roxy. Then I picked up a couple of books that are sort of out of my comfort zone, a couple of romance novels that you guys know I don't typically review romance. I don't typically read it, but I was intrigued and I wanted to get a couple while I was at the Imaginarium. I picked up At Her Service by Michelle Prince. This one was recommended. Of all the books she had at her table, this one was recommended. It's sort of like an Uber for security. So I was intrigued by that concept, and isn't the gentleman handsome on the front cover? So I'm like, okay, sold. I'll pick that one up. So At Her Service by Michelle Prince is on the TBR pile now. Then toward the back of the vendor hall, there was a gal with a 3-book series from Royal Media and Publishing. This series is the Men of Roberts Junction series. And this one is Dwayne of book 2, and this one is Xavier of book 3. The gentleman, I think it was Hank, was book 1, and that one just wasn't speaking to me. So I picked up these 2. There was a special, buy 2 for a special price. So I picked up these 2. I've already started reading the book for Dwayne, and I know I have multiple books that I'm reading at one time. It's just how it goes, right? Okay, so we'll look at those in a future review. Oh, did I tell you who wrote them? Sorry, guys. Xavier and Dwayne were written by Cadence Royal. That's the author's name, Cadence Royal. And such a pleasure to visit with the three ladies who were at the Royal Media booth. Such a pleasure. In fact, Cadence Royal, I believe, is going to be speaking at a book event in Orlando in August. So I'm going to look up the details so that I will share them with you all, and hopefully I can get over to Orlando and see that. I would like to visit with her again. Then at Michelle Prince's booth, she had some books that were wrapped in paper. It's called A Blind Date with a Book. And I have seen this at libraries. I've seen this concept play out at other events. And I thought, this is perfect. I'm going to have a blind date with a book. So you can see it was $5 to pick a book, and it's a mystery what it's going to be. But it's only a slight mystery because she did give us some clues as to what the book is about. So you're not going into it totally blind. She had several there that involved romances with sports figures and football. And you guys, I'm already stretching out of my comfort zone to go with romance. I wasn't going to stretch too far and go with football players. That's not my bag. But this one looked intriguing to me. It's the first in a series. It's a contemporary romance, and it's about second chances. And I thought, okay, I will pick that up and see. And it's called 2 Ink Minimum by Michelle Prince. So I'm intrigued. That's on the TBR list now, and those 4 romances are the only ones I picked up in the romance category for myself. The Cassandra Morgan book is a romance, but that's for my neighbor. Okay, then I went to Patrick Dugan's booth. Patrick Dugan is a speculative fiction author like myself, and he had something intriguing. He had these fabulous dragons at his booth. Let me get that up there where you can see. Look at this guy's face. Is this not the cutest? Right? Look at this dragon. And he articulates a bit, right? And look at his color. Of course I went for one with purple in it, right? So I picked up this dragon at Patrick Dugan's booth. He makes these, right? Let me set this where he won't get smushed. I haven't found a home for him in my den yet, but I like to have dragons in my den. But Patrick had a special going where if you purchased the 3 books in this series so far, you could get the dragon at a discount. I'm like, discount my dragon. I'll do that because I was interested in the series that he had going. Now, let me make sure I tell you this correctly. Okay. This is sort of a prequel to this series. This is Fate and Flux, a steampunk adventure, and I'm interested in that. It is the prequel to the other books in the series. They are book 1 of Cogs and Conjuring, and then book 2 is Pistols and Potions. And these books are in the Watchers of Astaria series. And book 3 of this series is coming out very soon. I don't remember what month he told me, but it's coming up pretty quickly. So I will try to power through all 3 of these so I can do a review for you guys and tell you when book 3 is coming out. All right, then the final book in my book haul. There's a dragon falling over on the table. The final book in the book haul is The Headhunter, Zombified, Book 1. And this is by Santiago Cirillo. You might remember his name from The Walking Dead and a bunch of other cool shows. It was a pleasure to get to visit with Santiago at his booth. I sat down at a table next to his booth, like snarf down a quick hamburger between panels. And it was just a pleasure to get to visit with him for a few minutes and talk shop for a few minutes. He's just a very positive, upbeat, optimistic, sunshiny person. He encapsulates the Imaginarium vibe. It was wonderful to get to visit with him and pick up his book. This is it's a hefty tome. So I will be reading that and sharing with you all a review of that. And I think that's all the books I picked up. Um, I I think. I mean, I've got a couple. I had to bring a couple of them in here because they're scattered around my house already. I've started reading already. So I think that's all I picked up. If I missed any, I will share them in a future video, maybe when I'm doing one of the reviews. And you guys, I think that's all for now. Give this a thumbs up, a follow, a rumble, a like, whatever. And I will continue my day staying upright and vertical. You guys be safe out there, and thanks for tuning in.